Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome to This Explainer, where we are tackling one of the most consequential, heavily debated, and universally misunderstood decisions in all of personal finance. I want you to imagine something for a second. Imagine suddenly coming into a massive sum of money. Maybe it's an inheritance, maybe you sold a business, or maybe you finally sold that property you've been holding on to. The initial excitement is huge, right? But almost immediately, a heavy, sinking question hits you. What do you actually do with it? Do you take a deep breath and invest it all at once, or do you play it safe, dripping it into the market slowly over time to protect yourself? Today, we are setting up the ultimate showdown. In one corner, we have the cold, unfeeling, airtight mathematical data. And in the exact opposite corner, we have the warm, complex, and incredibly powerful biology of human fear. Because, as you'll see, this isn't just a math problem. It's about how our brains are literally hardwired to survive. Let's get started.
To really understand the stakes of this dilemma, we need to time travel back to the spring of 2009. I want to introduce you to Margaret Sullivan. She's a 44-year-old civil engineer living in Dublin. Now, Margaret had just received a truly devastating phone call. Her father, a retired school teacher who had bravely lived through the brutal austerity of the 1980s, had passed away, and he left her his entire life savings, 180,000 euros. Now, Margaret was absolutely not an impulsive person. She was analytical, she tracked her spreadsheets, she read financial news voraciously, and she consistently invested a portion of her paycheck every single month. But standing at the edge of this massive windfall, she completely froze. And honestly, who could blame her? The S&P 500 was down nearly 50% from its peak. Lehman Brothers had literally just collapsed. The global news was an endless, terrifying parade of financial catastrophe. Pure cold logic told her that the market was incredibly cheap, a rare buying opportunity. But her fear, her gut instinct, screamed that it could absolutely drop even further. When she finally went to her financial advisor, desperate for an answer, she didn't get a hot stock tip. Instead, her advisor looked at her and said something that perfectly sets up this entire dilemma. He said, "Margaret, this is the most important investment decision of your life. And it's not really about the market, it's about you."
So, let's clearly define the two contestants in this financial heavyweight bout. First up, we have lump sum investing, or LSI. Think of this as the full plunge. If you have a lump sum of cash, you take a deep breath and deploy all of that capital immediately in a single transaction right into your target portfolio. The underlying logic here is super simple and classic. Time in the market is the primary engine of wealth. Since markets historically trend upward over the long run, LSI maximizes your time in the market. You get your money working for you on day one. Then we have the challenger, dollar cost averaging, or DCA. This is the measured, cautious entry. Instead of the full plunge, you divide your total sum into equal portions and invest it systematically. Usually that means making equal monthly purchases over a set period of time, completely regardless of whether the market is up or down that day. The intuitive appeal here is absolutely massive, right? It feels safe. It mathematically protects you from the absolute nightmare scenario of investing your entire fortune on a Tuesday, only to watch the market crash on a Wednesday. Now, I need to make a really critical distinction here. Dollar cost averaging, in the context of a windfall, is about slowly deploying a big chunk of cash you already have sitting in the bank. That is categorically different from just investing a portion of your monthly paycheck. Investing your paycheck every month is just forced discipline, because that's simply how your income arrives. We are talking strictly about what to do when you already have the whole pie sitting in front of you.
So, what does a century of actual hard data tell us to do? Well, the researchers over at Vanguard decided to find out. They looked at global market data spanning from 1976 all the way to 2022. Think about everything that happened in that time frame. The inflation of the late 70s, the Black Monday crash, the dot-com bubble, the 2008 financial crisis, and a global pandemic. They ran the numbers across the US, the UK, and Australia. And you know what? The results are unambiguously, brutally clear. Lump sum investing outperformed dollar cost averaging 68% of the time. We're talking about consistent outperformance across rolling periods, across vastly different global economies, and over decades of extreme market turbulence. The mathematical logic is airtight. Almost 7 times out of 10, jumping straight into the deep end of the pool immediately generates more wealth than safely wading in step by step.
And listen, that outperformance, it isn't just some tiny, irrelevant rounding error. On average, lump sum investing generated an additional 2.3% in annualized returns over a 12-month DCA strategy in all equity portfolios. Now, why exactly does this happen? It all comes down to a silent wealth killer called cash drag. Think about it. When you dollar cost average over a full year, roughly half of your total capital is just sitting on the bench in cash at any given time, earning maybe 4 or 5% interest if you're lucky. Meanwhile, the broader equity market compounds at a historical average of 8 to 10%. By keeping that money safely on the sidelines, you completely miss out on the equity risk premium. You're starving your own portfolio. And compounding is a powerful thing. That 2.3% difference translates to thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars in lost wealth on a modest windfall. But here is where the story gets incredibly intense for anyone trying to time the market with a slow, drawn-out entry. Look at this JP Morgan study. They track the S&P 500 over a 20-year period, from 2004 to 2024. That's over 7,000 trading days. If you invested $10,000 on day one and just stayed fully invested, you ended up with roughly $70,000. A fantastic return. But what if you tried to get cute? What if you were sitting in cash and happened to miss just the 10 single best trading days over those 2 entire decades? Your wealth was literally cut in half, dropping to around $35,000. Missed the 20 best days? You're down to $23,000. And if you miss the 30 best days out of 7,000, your 20 years of investing leaves you with barely $10,000. You essentially made zero gain. And here is the truly devastating punchline, the ultimate trap for market timers. 7 of those 10 best single days actually happen during bear markets. They happen when the headlines are the absolute darkest, when everyone is screaming that the sky is falling. Every single month you hold back cash in a DCA strategy, you are risking missing the very days that generate the vast majority of market wealth.
Okay, so if the data is so overwhelmingly clear, if lump sum so comprehensively dominates dollar cost averaging mathematically, why on earth do professional financial advisors still recommend it to their clients? Well, to answer that, we have to pivot away from the math and look deep into the human mind. Enter the late, brilliant Daniel Kahneman, a Nobel Prize-winning behavioral economist, and his groundbreaking prospect theory. Kahneman quantified a profound biological truth about human beings: loss aversion. Look at this number, 2.3x. Kahneman found that a financial loss feels approximately 2.3 times more emotionally painful than an equivalent gain feels pleasurable. Think about that. If you drop a $200,000 lump sum into the market on Monday and watch it fall to $140,000 by Friday, you don't just feel 30% poorer. Your brain literally processes it as a profound emotional trauma. The expected long-term mathematical gain of lump sum investing is just an abstraction to your brain, but watching $60,000 evaporate in real time, that is a visceral biological nightmare.
And this biological fear brilliantly illustrates our next massive psychological hurdle: regret theory. Behavioral finance has shown that there is a massive asymmetry in how human beings experience regret. We categorize mistakes in 2 ways. First, there are errors of commission. This is when you actively do something. You take an action that leads to a terrible outcome. Second, there are errors of omission. This is when you simply fail to act, and that inaction leads to a bad outcome. The crazy part, we punish ourselves far, far more severely for errors of commission. If you actively log into your brokerage account, push the big green button to invest all your life savings on a Tuesday, and the market spectacularly crashes on Wednesday, the regret is absolutely unbearable. Because you did it. It's your fault. Dollar cost averaging, however, serves as this incredible emotional armor. It spreads out the decisions. If the market falls after you put in just one small monthly tranche, the loss is modest. The regret is entirely manageable. And because the pain is smaller, you're actually much more likely to stick to the plan.
And to be completely fair to the DCA crowd, we absolutely cannot ignore that 32% of the time when the data says dollar cost averaging actually wins. Because when DCA wins, it wins in catastrophic world-ending scenarios. It provides an incredible asymmetry of emotional protection. Take the infamous .com crash, running from March 2000 through October 2002. Over that period, the S&P 500 declined by a devastating 49%. It was a bloodbath. Now, if you had used a slow, methodical DCA strategy during that exact period, your annualized losses were limited to a very manageable 1.75%. You survived. But if you had deployed a massive lump sum at the very start of that window, you suffered a brutal, sleep-destroying 13.84% annualized loss. In the absolute worst possible market environments, DCA acts as the ultimate emotional shock absorber.
Which brings us directly to the absolute core thesis of this entire explainer. There's a research firm called Dalbar that has documented something incredibly depressing for decades. They found that average everyday investors actually underperform the market by 4 to 5 percentage points every single year, year after year. Why does this happen? Is it bad luck? No. It's because human beings consistently buy high when they're greedy and sell low when they're terrified. They abandon their finely tuned strategies right at the absolute bottom of a crash. Listen closely to this. A lump sum investor who experiences a sudden crash, panics, and sells everything has permanently destroyed their wealth. They lock in the loss, and they are sitting in cash when the inevitable recovery happens. So the most crucial takeaway here is this.
A mathematically suboptimal dollar-cost averaging strategy that you can actually sleep through and stick to is vastly, infinitely superior to a mathematically optimal lump sum strategy that you abandon in a blind panic. The greatest risk to your wealth isn't market volatility. The greatest risk is you.
Section 1. The Ultimate Decision Rule. A framework that actually works.
So how do you actually make this choice when you're staring at a big check? We've built a framework to solve the dilemma. And the very first step is realizing the question isn't about what the market will do tomorrow, it's about who you are today. It comes down to 4 critical signals. Number 1, risk tolerance. If you honestly know deep down that you can sit through a 30% portfolio drop without panic selling, lump sum is for you. If you have a dark history of selling when things get scary, DCA is your lifeline. Number 2, windfall size. If this new money is less than 20% of your total existing portfolio, go lump sum. If it represents a massive 50% increase, doubling your wealth overnight, go DCA. Number 3, time horizon. Got 15 plus years before you need the cash? Lump sum. Need the money in 3 to 5 years? DCA. And finally, your emotional makeup. If you're highly analytical and you literally forget your brokerage password because you check it so rarely, lump sum all the way. But if you have high anxiety and you're checking your portfolio balance on their phone at stoplights, choose DCA. And remember, DCA isn't a consolation prize here. It is the exact psychological tool that will keep you safely in the game. Now let's drill down into the very specific hard rules of thumb developed by Vanguard and behavioral finance experts for executing this. First is the 3 to 6 month rule. If your self-assessment points you toward dollar-cost averaging, listen to me. Do not extend it past 6 months. If you stretch a DCA plan out to a painfully slow 36 months, lump sum's historical win rate jumps from 68% to an overwhelming 90%. You are just mathematically torturing yourself. Spreading the cash out over just 3 to 6 months gives you plenty of emotional protection from a single terrible timing event, but it gets you fully invested before massive cash drag eats your returns. Second, the windfall size rule. If this cash infusion is less than 20% of your existing assets, just deploy it immediately. A market drop on a 20% bump won't psychologically break you, but if this money represents over 50% of your net worth, meaning you were literally doubling your market exposure overnight, the emotional stakes are just too dangerously high. In that case, a 3 to 6 month DCA is entirely justified and smart. Let's see exactly how this framework plays out in the real world, with 2 very different investors. First, meet Ankit. He's a 35-year-old engineer working in Bengaluru. He inherits 45 lakhs. Now for Ankit, this inheritance is less than 60% of his total existing portfolio. And more importantly, Ankit is famously unflappable. He literally slept through the 2020 COVID crash without checking his accounts once. For Ankit, the data overwhelmingly dictates a lump sum strategy. He invests it all on day one, effortlessly rides out a 12% market correction a few months later, and 5 years down the line, he is 6 lakhs richer than if he had dragged it out with DCA. Now let's look at Helen. She's 63, living in Bristol, and she just sold an investment property for £290,000. This sale literally doubles her total net worth, and she's only 2 years away from retirement. Plus, Helen is naturally highly anxious. She actually panic sold during the 2008 crisis. For Helen, biology dictates a tight 6-month DCA. It completely automates her entry, takes the day-to-day decision-making off her plate, and protects her from a full-blown psychological crisis. The beauty here, both Ankit and Helen were wildly successful. Why? Because they matched their investment strategy to their exact authentic temperament.
Section 2, 5 Fatal Investing Mistakes. All right. Regardless of which path you choose, there are hidden traps here that can cost you dearly. Let's fire through them. Mistake number 1, treating DCA as an open-ended excuse to just stay in cash indefinitely because you're scared of the news. Let's be honest, that's just market timing with bureaucratic cover. Mistake number 2, extending your DCA window beyond 12 months where the mathematical penalty of cash drag starts to compound severely against you. Mistake number 3, pausing your monthly DCA transfer because the market is falling or speeding it up because it's rising. The entire point of DCA is to completely remove timing from the equation. Don't mess with the schedule. Mistake number 4, dropping all your money into a single concentrated hot stock or narrow sector instead of a broad, globally diversified index. And mistake number 5, the absolute most dangerous wealth destroyer of them all, selling during the drawdown. Whether you used lump sum or DCA to get into the market, if you abandon your strategy at the bottom, your emotional response has defeated you permanently.
So how do we execute perfectly to ensure we avoid these fatal traps? If you've run the numbers, checked your gut, and determined lump sum is the right move for you, here is your exact tactical playbook. Step 1. Make the final decision during a time of complete calm. Grab a coffee, sit in a quiet room, and decide entirely divorced from whatever crazy hype or panic is on the news that day. Step 2. Execute the trade in a single decisive transaction. Do not drag it out over 3 days just to torture yourself with the hour-by-hour price movements. Step 3. Immediately remove your ability to monitor the portfolio daily. I'm serious. Delete the app off your phone, lose the password, do whatever it takes. Daily monitoring destroys long-term returns. Step 4. Write down a pre-commitment to yourself. Literally write on a piece of paper, if the market drops 30% tomorrow, I will do absolutely nothing. Having a written contract with yourself, created in a cool, logical state, is the best way to prevent panic in a hot emotional state.
And what if your emotional makeup strongly points to dollar cost averaging? Well, your playbook must be equally strict and entirely emotionless. Step 1. Commit to a tight 3 to 6 month window and automate the transfers completely. Set it up with your broker so the money moves on the first of the month every month. You should not be making a manual click. Step 2. Keep all that uninvested cash in a high-yield money market fund or a high-yield savings account. Ensure it's at least earning a solid, risk-free rate while it waits its turn on the bench. Step 3. Never, ever alter the schedule. In fact, make a rule that you do not check the financial news in the days leading up to the automatic transfer. Just let the machine do its job. Step 4. Once those 6 months are up and your cash is fully deployed into the market, you are officially a lump sum investor now. You're done. No more moves. Now you hold.
Which brings us beautifully right back to our opening story. What exactly did Margaret Sullivan do in the incredibly dark, terrifying days of 2009 with her father's 180,000 euros? Well, after having that deep conversation with her advisor, they realized something absolutely vital about her past behavior. During the horrific 2008 crash, Margaret had been completely terrified, yes, but crucially, she never actually sold any of her existing investments. She just held on. She had the proven historical behavioral capacity to endure massive paper losses without cracking. Armed with that profound self-knowledge, in May of 2009, she took a deep breath, pulled the trigger, and invested the entire 180,000 euros as a lump sum into a globally diversified index fund. And by doing so, she captured the very start of one of the greatest, most lucrative bull market recoveries in human history.
And Margaret's success brilliantly illustrates our ultimate conclusion here today. Listen, Margaret wasn't some kind of financial psychic. She didn't possess a crystal ball that told her the market had finally hit absolute rock bottom. As this incredible quote perfectly summarizes the whole situation, Margaret did not get the timing right because she was clever. She got the strategy right because she accurately understood herself. That's the secret. The global stock market does not care about your perfectly crafted spreadsheet or your strategy, but your strategy absolutely must serve you, your psychology, and your limitations as an investor. We've looked at a century of airtight mathematical data heavily favoring the lump sum plunge. We've explored the deep, hardwired biological fear that makes dollar cost averaging so incredibly vital for so many people. The market reliably, consistently rewards time, ironclad discipline, and the sheer refusal to panic when things get scary. But remember this. The most dangerous investor in the world isn't the one who picked the mathematically suboptimal entry strategy. It's the one who chose a strategy they simply couldn't psychologically survive when the storm hit. So I will leave you with this final thought. Instead of constantly obsessing over what the market is going to do tomorrow, have you honestly, truly, and accurately assessed what kind of investor you really are? Take the time to figure that out first. Do that, and the wealth will surely follow.